title you guys helped me come up with is trust issues. And so we're gonna kind of talk about how I perceive trust and all of the crazy things that I've been through to cause me to have trust issues. So actually, growing up, ironically enough, all through elementary, middle school, high school, I never had an issue with anybody betraying me, anybody starting rumors about me that were close to me that I knew, and even letting out some of my most embarrassing moments or secrets. Everybody I grew up with and went to school with and were friends with, or close friends with anyway, never betrayed me in that way. They never told other people things that I didn't want them to know. And so, ironically enough, growing up, I was so very lucky and blessed to have been surrounded by all of these people that I could trust and not have to worry about things getting out about me that I didn't want people to know about. When I got in high school, nobody really knew too much about me. I kept to myself. And so people literally just had to assume things about me or make up things about me.
Too often and too frequent, when you don't tell your business, you stay to yourself, you focus on your own life, and don't bring or add drama into nobody else's life, the people get to hating. They can't figure you out. They don't know none of your business. They can't talk bad about you because you literally give them nothing to talk bad about. Any moves you make, you moving in silence. And the people literally can't figure out your next move. And that bothers them. Because if they never hear you talking about your issues or your problems, and they never see you in drama, your life comes off as perfect, and that makes them feel away. See, the thing is, some people quite literally need something to be mad about. And because you give them nothing, you pay them dust, they are left confused and befuddled because they can't figure you out. They don't have nothing on you to make them feel better about themselves. Continue to give them nothing, continue to pay them dust.
Because everybody needed a story, right? Like, I couldn't just, be the quiet girl in the corner that nobody knew, because I wasn't quiet at all. I was very loud. Everybody knew me. I had a very strong personality, but nobody knew anything personal about me. And so they all just had to assume and make up things. My closest friends, as far as I knew, never told anybody anything about me, because everything that I heard or all the rumors that were spread were all lies.
Yeah, baby, you did this.
Damn. You did that. Bad bitch.
And so I knew that there was no truth to them. So that's why it never really bothered me too much. And what's crazy is those same group of friends that I thought that I could always trust and confide in, that were always there for me and were there for me during one of the hardest, darkest times of my life, actually ended up abandoning me. When I got a divorce, when my perceptions on men changed, when everything in my life changed, which is really super sad and unfortunate, because I truly felt like I didn't have anybody at that time. I did fortunately have at least one friend that I was able to confide in wholly and completely throughout the whole entire time. She was there for me through thick and thin. She's my A1, day one forever. But even me and her have had our ups and downs, and it wasn't based off not trusting. It was just more like hurt feelings over something really dumb and small, which was her COVID wedding. I wasn't invited, and so I was like, okay, I understand that. Like, it's COVID, you had your closest friends and family. But then when I seen pictures and videos of people that I didn't think she was close to at her reception, that hurt my feelings. And so obviously, like, nobody's perfect. Everybody's gonna go through something, and you just gotta find at least somebody that you can trust or confide in, or have be there for you and want you to be there for them at least 80% of the time, right? Nobody's perfect. That's understandable. But it's just crazy how all these different things that you encounter in life kind of truly bring out everybody's true colors and who they really are. And so I thought I was always able to trust my mom when it came to things that I never really wanted to talk about with or anybody else in my family. And so I didn't ever end up opening up to her completely, because I really truly didn't really trust her. But she ended up finding out something that I had went through, and she was completely distraught. She felt so horrible and guilty that she wasn't there for me, that I couldn't talk to her, that I couldn't confide in her. And so I thought that was enough for me to be able to. And so I did tell her what happened, why it happened, and why I felt like I couldn't talk to her. And the same reason why I said I couldn't talk to her was how she betrayed me. And so she ended up telling my dad, which my dad, he tells everybody's business. There is no such thing as secrets with that man. So he ended up telling my whole family, my grandparents, my aunts. And so everybody knew this really dark secret about me that I never wanted anybody to know. And so that was kind of one of the first ultimate betrayals, was from my mom.
When your mother is the first person to ever betray you, something that some people just never come back from.
The second was from my friends that I grew up with. When I did get a divorce, none of them were there for me. They all abandoned me because they did not agree with the life that I was living after my divorce, or the way that I viewed men, anything like that. And that's okay, like, you can have your differences, but I am glad that they're actually able to openly communicate with me, at the very least, to tell me why they couldn't fuck with me anymore. But it's, a super fucked up excuse to me. I feel like I'm a very loyal person. I feel like I will be there for anybody that has been a big part of my life, no matter what. You could always trust and confide in me, but you do need to make it known that if you're telling me a secret, it's a secret. Because if you don't, I will, if the subject comes up, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to tell people, oh yeah, they did say that. Oh yeah, So if they say something they don't want other people to know, they do got to make that known for sure. It's just kind of hard when you have a, pure heart with pure intentions, and not everybody moves the way that you do. And that's like the most unfortunate thing about it, is not everybody is going to have the same heart and loyalty as you.
The unfortunate part about being a kind person is that you forget that there are malicious people out there, and you live life through your lens, and you have to actively remember that there are people out here that do not think the way that you do. There are people out here that do not have the same heart that you do.
And so you unfortunately have to go through all these hard lessons on finding out who people really are and what you can trust them with. So what is crazy is I can trust certain people with certain things, but I cannot trust any single person on this God-given earth with everything solely, wholeheartedly, and completely, which is something I wish I could, but I just can't, because people have shown to me and proven to me that there are just some things that I cannot trust them with. I know I can depend on my mom for a lot of things if I truly, truly needed her. But there's, secrets are not one of them, or telling my business. And I have even blocked my mom before. While I was going through my divorce, I was kind of that person that used Facebook as my diary, and I would spew out all my thoughts and all my struggles and everything I was going through. And so she was like, I don't know how or why, she just made up the comment, and she was like, you're just too much drama. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm too much drama. Then guess what? You don't need to see a motherfucking thing that I put up if I'm such an inconvenience. So me and my sister were over dramatic when it comes to stuff like that, And so I blocked her. And so she was kind of, hurt about it. I'm like, well, you're the one that said you don't like to see my stuff, so I'm just making it easier for you. My sister has blocked my dad before, for certain different things too. So nobody safe from not being blocked. Like, if you run me the wrong way, I don't care who you are, you could have gave me life, you will get blocked.
Kendrick Lamar said, bitch, I cut my granny off if she don't see it how I see it. I really felt that.
And so this is a no tolerance zone. Even my best friend, that I told you about, that was always there for me, that I could always count on, because I wasn't at her reception, I blocked her. So I'm petty as fuck. I am.
I love blocking people on social media for anything. Blocked.
Will say that. But it's not that you can never trust me. It's not that you can never come to me. It's not that you could never confide in me. I will admit my wrongs. I will admit when I'm petty. I will admit when I'm over dramatic, and then I will make it right. I don't know if you guys ever seen, it's one of my favorite movies is with Ben Affleck, where they're all dressed like nuns and they go robbing banks. I think his cousin, his name was Jim, and so I always say that my cousin Georgie is the Jim to my Doug, which means I can go to him and tell him what I need done if fucking somebody up or somebody's property or whatever, and he's not gonna ask any questions, and he's gonna be there and he's gonna do it and he's gonna show up for me.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
But I cannot trust him to be my Snapchat friend and not tell my ex any of my business, because he's done that. And so I can't be his friend on Snapchat. I can't be his friend on certain things, but I know I can count on him. Even my husband, my ex, I obviously couldn't trust for him to be loyal, but I do know to this day, if I was in trouble, if I was stranded somewhere, if I needed somebody and he was the only person left on my list to call, I would actually call him even before my own father. Then he would be there for me, because he has been. And so, you know, I can give him that respect. My best friend that I had for 15 years, I trust that man with my whole life. I trust him with my well-being. I trust him to be loyal to me, and I did, but I do not trust him to be there for me when I need him. And so there was a few times where I did go travel, not to be specifically for him. My, plans didn't revolve around him completely, but I did kind of, wanted him to be able to pick me up from the airport and take me to the airport and do simple, small things for me that he just couldn't stay sober for to do. And so if I can't trust you to just be there for me when I need you, then I can't trust you, So I think that's probably one of the most important aspects of trust for me, is when I'm at my darkest, lowest, can I call you? Can you be somebody that's gonna come and help me and pick me up? But then it's like, but I also cannot trust you to not tell anybody about this situation that we dealt with, or to be loyal to me when it comes to being in a relationship. So it's just so crazy and fucked up that I can trust people with certain things, but not with everything. And so it does suck. And so that is why I do have trust issues. I used to be very open, friendly, and I would be that dumb bitch that would take drinks from strangers, until I went to New York and I got roofied. And what's crazy is that roofie wasn't even meant for me. It was meant for my friend, and he was just so drunk, like he couldn't drink anymore. And he gave it to me, both of us thinking, it was fine, it was innocent. These people that were with us were friends of a friend, so we thought we could trust them. No, I got roofied and I felt like I was going to die. And thank God, though, it did happen that way, because if he was the one that got roofied, there's no physical possible way I could take care of a grown-ass man, right? Like, he had to carry my ass. He had to do everything for me. And so, yeah, that really sucked. But since then, I never offer drinks from strangers. If I do, I go with them to the bar. I watch the bartender make it. It goes from the bartender's hands to my hands. Because I can't even trust the bartender. What if this motherfucker's getting paid to roofie me too? So I make sure I'm very attentive to where these drinks are going, how they are flowing before they get to me. And so I try to teach that to everybody, as you guys know. And so, unfortunately, that's why I do not. And I do not trust, to go somewhere quiet with anybody, because I feel like they're going to sex traffic me. Drug me or do something. Like, I just feel like everybody, when you're out, has malicious and pure intentions. And so I'm very cautious. So maybe that makes for me not being a good time. But you know what? I didn't come out to entertain anybody else but me and my friends. So I don't feel bad or don't feel sorry for not fucking with anybody or any guys trying to approach me unless I told you, let's meet up, you know? And so, yeah, I'm the mother hen sometimes when I need to be. And that's just because you can't trust anybody. And also, I do feel like I'm the kind of person that when things seem like they're too good to be true, they are. I'm very skeptical. I question every situation. I'm like, there's no way this person is that perfect. They're a serial killer. Something's wrong with them. And so that may be my downfall, is that I can be presented the perfect man wrapped in the perfect bow with the written note saying, I am God sent for Janelle Garcia. I will still question it. I'm like, no, it's a trap. It's a trap. Don't fall for it. It's a Trojan horse.
Clearly you're here for an alternate agenda. Why would you want to be here to provoke me like this?
So, because of my trust issues, I may very well be single for the rest of my life. I can meet the perfect man that checks all the perfect boxes and does all the perfect things, but I will still question whether or not they are who they say they are. And so that's going to be a big struggle for me that I don't know if I could ever give into. I always have this conversation with my family and friends when they say, like, are you open for a relationship? Like, I always say that I'm not open, but I'm not closed, which means I am not looking. But if the opportunity presented itself, I would try to take advantage of it. But then when I really think about it, I'm like, would I though? Would I? That I don't know, because it's like, if I can't trust this person that I devoted my life to, that I've known since I was 12 years old, to not cheat on me, how am I going to trust this when we were at our best? How am I going to trust a stranger when we're at our worst? You know? Also, if I can't trust my best friend that I grew up with since I was 15 years old to not be there for me when I need him, how am I going to trust a stranger to be that person? You know? So it might just be my downfall. I might just be single for the rest of my life because I'm just too skeptical and I just do not trust anything or anybody. And let me tell you how crazy, and I guess you can say compulsive, my trust issues are. In fact, I kind of show it through my everyday life and my actions on my choices. And so growing up, whenever I was able to choose my seat in a classroom, I would always choose the back far right corner, which was the very last seat away from the exit, so that I can see the entry, I can see the exit, I can see everybody in the room, I can see everybody surrounding me, and there's nobody behind me and nobody on the right of me, always on the left of me, so that I can be looking. Because it's easier to look over your left shoulder, right, than your right. And so that's how bad my trust issues are. Also, whenever I go to a movie theater, I make sure that I get the very, very back row, middle if possible, because I do like to see, you know, the screen perfectly. If not, guess what corner I'm going to? Yep, that far right corner. And then when I step into an elevator, guess what corner I back into? That far right corner. And if the elevator is so full where I cannot claim a corner, I will wait for the next elevator. I am not going in an elevator, standing in front, being smashed in with 10 people behind me. I refuse. I will not. I'll take the fucking stairs if I have to, but I'm not doing that.
I don't know if it's just me, but if you see me come in, don't hold the elevator for me. I like to get in the elevator by myself. I'll wait for my own elevator by myself. Yeah. Because I'm damn sure going to close it on you.
Also, if I go to a restaurant, then I try to always get a booth. They feel safer in a booth. You're more enclosed to everything. And then also, if I can get a back corner, I'm getting that back corner. I have to always be facing the exit and the entry so I can see who's coming in, who's going out, who's approaching me. I do not like to be blindsided. I do not like people to come up behind me. I will swing on you. Just kidding. No, I'm not that bad. But yeah, I'm not one for surprises. And so I don't know like why I'm like that. I don't know where it came from. I feel like it was just a natural instinct for me that I just kind of learned growing up when being presented with these choices. And then I count my money when it comes out of the ATM. I do not trust anything or anybody. It is crazy, and I'm the kind of person that you guys know that words will never ever mean a single thing to me. Words to me is literally bullshit. Bullshit.
Because people can say one thing and do another. Words without action means absolutely shit. Words are just that, words. What people do is far more important than what they say. What's that saying? Action speaks louder than words. It's so true. When people say what you mean what you say, that quote is something to live by. Stop listening to what people say and look at what people do. Make sure their words align with their actions.
And so until you show me and prove to me with your actions that you are somebody that I can trust and confide in, then I'm not gonna fuck with you in that way. Like, I can fuck with you but not fuck with you, if that makes sense. Like, I will hang out with you, I will have a conversation with you, I will treat you with respect like I do everybody else out of respect for other people, but I do not fuck with you. I do not trust you. I do not know how you move. I feel like anybody, no matter who they are, whether it's the person that gave birth to you or the person you gave birth to, is capable of anything given any circumstance. I don't feel like anybody is safe from being sold out. I feel like everybody comes at a price, which is super sad and scary, right? But unfortunately, that's just how I feel. Like, that ain't me. Like, I like to be everything that nobody else is, right? Like, I want to be the perfect person that I want in my life. And I think that's why my standards are so high, is because I expect me in my partner. And if I can't get that same energy reciprocated, then it's just never going to work out.
I believe you get what you give, and you should behave the way that you want someone else to behave, right?
And so I also like to say, to not disappoint yourself is just don't ever expect anything from anybody, and anything that they do is just a nice surprise, which is also kind of like a little sad thing to live by, but it's just the way it is. It's the way of the world.
It gets wild and crazy. They just up and fucks you for no good reason. You know? It's the way of the world. Way it's always gonna be.
It's cruel out there. It's so cruel. But one of the quotes that I used to live by when I was married was defining love as giving the power to somebody to destroy you, but trusting them not to. And unfortunately, I haven't found that person. I haven't found anybody that I can trust wholeheartedly, 100%, completely. And I honestly don't know if I ever will, because even if that perfect person presents himself that way, I'm still gonna have this in the back of my mind, in the back of my head, that they can betray me at any given moment under any circumstance. And so I know maybe it's not a healthy way to be, but for me, it's the safest and only way to be. And so I'm hoping maybe someday somebody can prove me wrong. But until then, I'm gonna keep my guard up.
I never feel safe letting my guard down, honestly. It's always up. Even when it look like it's down, it's up. Because you wanna know what? You just can't have your guard down. Motherfucker ain't about to catch me sleeping. Right. Shit, you let him slip one time and think it's a slip and slide around this bitch. Fuck that. The guard is staying up. Here.
I don't know what you guys could have got from this other than do not trust a single soul on this earth.
You cannot trust anybody ever.
But just that, like, just don't be disappointed when the people that you thought you could trust betray you. And it's really sucks and really sad that that is a way that sometimes we have to think and be, but it is reality. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment.